talk about what's happening in our economy with some recession. I'm with Yacovelli Real Estate, by the way. I'm an associate broker. And I'm going to go over some of the questions that a lot of people are asking me. And by the way, somebody needs to time me because I only have 10 minutes. Thank you, Jeff. Okay. So I'm just going to try to answer some of the questions that I'm getting a lot from people. What you're going to see, the information that you're going to see today is from Ted C. Jones, which is the chief economist for Stewart Title, Steve Harney, who is the owner and founder of Keeping Matters Current, which is a company that realtors look to keep up on what is happening in our economy, from the National Association of Realtors and also from the Boise Regional Realtors Association. So I just want to let you know that I didn't make the numbers up. These are all from them. So let's just talk about first, because one of the questions I get is, are we going to have a recession? Are we going to have a housing crash? So I first want to look at, let's go back to, it started in 2008, but we really started feeling it in 2009, is what contributed to the crash. So let's look at that first of all. Well, first of all, and I won't get political on you. If you want to get political, you can talk to Cameron later, because he can tell you all about that, but that's not what I do, right? But the banks were set up to fail, and this happened a long time before 2008. So my mother, she was a vice president manager of 2 banks, and I was talking to her about this, and she says, I remember the day we were mandated to make loans we would never make. And that was the beginning of the crash. It just started a lot sooner than the 2009. And then we had the height of the market where if you had a pulse, you got a loan, right? It was stated income. You could just make it up on the fly, and you didn't have to have any proof of income or anything like that. They just basically gave you a loan. And spec buyers were buying homes that they never intended to make payments on, because the market was so fast. What they were doing is, I'm going to buy this home, and I'm going to put a sign in the yard, and I'm going to sell it before my first payments ever due. And what was happening is we had the crash. People had multiple properties out there that they couldn't afford because they never intended to pay the payments on them. So that was part of it. And homeowners were taking out equity loans to buy boats and snowmobiles. And so we're going to talk about that pretty soon too. Because people are getting concerned about what we call cash out refinance, what we'll talk about in a minute. So what we need to remember is that when change occurs, it causes concern or it causes doubt. And so last year, we had, in the last quarter of 2018, we had some change in our market. And it started causing concern and it started causing doubt. And so we want to look at a little bit more about that. So, another question that I get is does the fact that price projections are happening mean we are moving into another year like 2008? Because what happened in 2008, before that the prices were going up and then they crashed. Well, that is not what's happening now. Actually, the fact that our prices are leveling out and our appreciation is decelerating is a good thing, and it's exactly what the market needed. We can't continue to do 14% price increases like we did last year. I mean, we just can't do it. And so we need to have that happen. So that's a good thing. So it doesn't mean prices are going down. It just means we're seeing some deceleration. Now let me explain what happens in the first part of the year, because I'll get this from clients all the time. Oh, prices are being dropped. Prices are being dropped. Well, what happens is when sellers and some agents are listing properties, they're taking them from comps that don't apply to the moment. And so they'll price them too high. And usually what happens when our weather starts to break, we get a real buyer frenzy. And so people think we're in that great, that seller's market, and yes, it is a seller's market. But we need to understand that's a buyer's frenzy because we have had pent-up buyers ready to go who can't find a home. So when a home does come on the market, especially when you're looking at 250 and below, they're all over it. Them and 10, 15 other people, because they've been waiting for a home to come on the market, and our inventory has just been so low. So that's part of what you see happening this time of year. Oops. All right. So let's look at where all the concern is coming from. Earlier this year, the Wall Street Journal surveyed 35 economists. About 6 weeks later, a company called Pulsomic surveyed 100 economists marketing analysts and real estate experts, and they were asked one question: when do you think the next recession is coming? And the number one answer was 2020. That's when they said they believed the next recession was coming. However, that has been pushed back now to 2021. And so we need to understand there will be an economic slowdown. There absolutely has to be. Our economy is growing and it's good, and it can't continue to go at this pace. So we are going to have an economic slowdown. However, that does not mean we're going to have a housing crash. And we're going to see why. Keeping Current Matters, that's KCM, surveyed 100 of the housing economics, marketing analysis, and real estate experts, asking them what they think would happen to the prices in 2019. 94% said they will increase about 4%. Okay, so the market average for a healthy market has been 3 to 6%, and they're thinking 4%. 2% said this is going to be break even. We're going to stay about the same as what we are. And 4% said there's going to be a slight fall, maybe like a 4%. Then they were asked that what they expect to happen in the next 5 years, and all of them said that there won't be a housing. There was not one person that said there was going to be a housing crash out of those 100 experts that were questions or surveyed. So let's look at the last 5 recessions. Because what has happened is people have equated recession to housing crash. And they do that because we had a housing crash in our last recession in 2008. But let's take the last 4 that we had. In 2001, we had a recession or an economic correction, and we saw prices went up 6.6%. In 91, they went down slightly at 1.9%. 81, we had a recession and they went up 3.5%. In 1980, they went up 6.1%. So as you can see, if you take out 2008, recession does not equal housing crash. It is expected that there will be more transactions in 2019 than 2017. Why didn't I say 2018? Because 2018 we didn't do as many transactions as 2017. We had a slowdown in that last quarter. And so that's why. 2017 was a boom year. They're expecting we're going to do more transactions this year. Is the fact that the feds are easing up on rate increases and the interest rates are easing a sign of a bubble? We hear, oh my, we're in that bubble. I hear it all the time. I'll hear it from sellers and buyers. Oh, we're in that bubble. It's gonna crash again. So let's look at what contributed to the bubble. In 2005, 6, and 7, $820 billion was taken out in cash-out equity loans. So they had equity, they took out 100% of their equity. So what were they doing with it? Oh, before I get to that. So today, we have what's called tappable equity. What that means is they're leaving 20% of their equity in the home, and what are they doing with that? And also, equity is up 21%. Well, in the last 2 years, they've taken out $175 billion in cash-out equity loans, compared to $820 billion in 2005, 6, and 7. And in 2005, 6, and 7, what were they doing? They were buying homes. So what they would do is they would take all their equity out. So they were 100% financed on their home. They would go buy 3 more homes with a tiny little bit of money. So no equity in all 3 of those homes. Then the crash happened. And they had no equity anywhere. Or they were buying boats. They were buying travel trailers, or they were taking exotic vacations. They were not being wise with that money. And they were doing, again, a lot of spec buying. I started in this industry, by the way, in July of 2009 in Reno, when we were the #1 in foreclosures. So that's the only market I knew. And we were selling homes on 40 cents on the dollar. So it was a great time to start the business. I didn't know better. And so let's talk about what people are doing today with their cash out equities, okay? They are taking money to fund their children's education. We've been doing that forever, right? We've been doing whatever it takes to fund our children's education. They're remodeling their homes. So they're keeping the home that they have equity in. And again, remember, they're not taking 100%. They still got a 20% cushion in case we do have some price drops. They still have a cushion in there for their equity. And they're starting new businesses. There's a lot of people who want to start a new business and they never have the equity to do it or the financial means to do it, and now they're able to do it with these cash out equity loans. So you can tell that, or you can see here that what's happening now is not what was happening in 2005, 6, and 7. And that makes a difference. Did you know that 48% of the homes have at least 50% equity on them? Yeah, that's a lot. And that's US across, of course. So that is a lot. That is a lot of equity. Yeah. Okay, come on. Okay. So now let's look at some job numbers, because what affects our economy? One of them is jobs, right? More jobs. So let's just talk about this. So in the last 12 months, there's been 1.90% 2.81 million net new jobs in the past 12 months. That's a lot of new jobs. That's fueling our economy, is all those new jobs. And then if we look at the leisure and hospitality jobs, they're at 2.53% from the past 12 months. So why do I bring that up? Well, leisure means vacations. People are spending more discretionary income by doing their vacations and taking trips and all of that. So that just tells us that they're more confident in what's going on in our economy. So let's talk about new construction home sales. This is Ada County, okay? So new construction sales are gaining more and more in the market share. We see it everywhere, right? We see building everywhere. So people ask me, oh, are they going to overbuild? No, at least not right now, because we can't keep up with the demand because we're way behind of where we need to be. So while sales of new construction homes have been up over the year over year for the last 21 consecutive months, sales of existing homes have been down. Why have sales of existing homes been down? Because people aren't putting their houses on the market. So we don't have the resale, so that's why we're seeing the new construction booming. Even though existing inventory is up year over year, the second month in a row after 51 months of declines. So when you talk about our inventory for 51 months for resale has been doing this. For 51 months, that is a long time to have that decline. This decrease in existing resale home sales shouldn't come as a surprise, as the number of closed sales or even possible have been limited due to the fact we've had fewer and fewer existing homes to sell each month compared to buyer demand. So that's why we're seeing our multiple offers. You know, when we see an existing home come on, and of course existing homes are less expensive than your new construction, we're in multiple offers because of our inventory being so low, and we're going to look at those numbers in a minute. So as we've noted, that the Ada County housing market has been shifting to a new norm. It's always a shifting market. It's always a changing market. With new construction, and I'm almost done, sales gaining more and more of the total market share. In February 2019, new construction sales were made up 38.7% of our sales. That's new construction. And 10% increase from over a year ago, so that's a lot. So what about Idaho? So let's look real quick at this. So Ada County, right now, existing and resale, the median sales price is $295,000, which is up 9.3% from a year ago. 411 homes were sold in January. That's down 2.4%. Again, that has to do with low inventory. 36 days on the market, and that's down over 16%. And our inventory is only 551 existing homes on the market in Ada County. That is not a lot of homes, and that's down again from 7.4%. So new construction, median price, $365,142. There are 259 homes were sold in January. That's up 13%. 78 days on the market because it takes a while for them to build, right? And 805 in inventory. So you see we have 805 new and 551 existing. And then when you look at county, real similar. Inventory 273 for existing and 369 for new construction. So again, more new construction, and so even that 38% seems to be low when we really look at the numbers. It just seems like they're doing more. So this was last week, 1,426 homes on the market in Ada County, 793 to be built under construction or new construction, 633 in resale homes. In Canyon County, 577 homes on the market, 329 to be built under construction or new, and 248 were resale homes. So our takeaways, January 2019 was the first time since October 2014 that the year-over-year number of existing homes for sale in Ada County increased. Amazing, right? Rather than decreased by 5.9% in January 2018. So that's a good thing. So, and I'll let you read the rest of that, and because I know I'm out of time, so we're going to move forward. So 2019 economic outlook, strong economy, growing jobs and wages, rising interest rates. Actually, they've declined a little bit now since that slide came out. Rising home prices, but at a lower pace. So the acceleration has decelerated, if that makes sense. And cheap but profitable energy, right? We're doing our own oil. And manufacturing comeback continues. So those are our economic outlook. So Kelly Yacovelli with Yacovelli Real Estate.